Yes.
I don't know if the other guys know, but, or get that message. That
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
But, we have a men's.
Great. There we go. Okay, so let's go back over. We're going to start over here today, back with Moses over here in Exodus 3. And what we'll just give a light recap on last week, just the end of last week on where we were looking at the time. Okay, so Moses has now been, he's been at the burning bush. He's done this. The Lord has told him that, and we're over here in Exodus 3, and we're going to go to, I don't know, up here in whatever, around verse 9. So the Lord has told Moses that he is going to deliver the children, that he's heard of them, that he's going to bring them out, but he's going to bring them to the land of the Jebusites and the Canaanites and all these people, and saying, I'm going to bring you out to the promised land, which is a great thing, but I'm going to bring you into a land that other people occupy. But you know what? That's your land, and I'm going to give it to you. And that's a land flowing with milk and honey. That's a land that is better than where you're at right now. And you know what we talked about was, what does the Lord want to do in our life? What's he saying to us as he's leading us along? He's saying, Chad, you're here. I mean, I had a thing this week dealing with this, that you're here. I want you over here. Now, to get over here, does it necessarily always look better? Does it look like it's going to be easy? Is it going to be an easy trek to get there? Is it going to you're just going to flow in there? No, but God's provided that for us, right? And so he's telling him, he's saying, Moses, I got this land for your people. They're in a desolate land. They're working, they're slaves. I want to bring you over here to a land of freedom, a land of milk and honey, a land that's better, a land that provides everything that you have. But there's people in there, and you're going to have to fight for that land. Same thing that we have to do, right? As we go out in the world, we've got to fight for what God has shown us, right? And we've got to understand that, listen, the devil hates it when the Lord tells us, I've got something better for him. We step out into that, right? But I'm telling, once we get there, is there anybody here that can tell me that when you look back on your life and God has told you, I want you to go over here, Chad, and you look at it when you're in the middle of that situation, you say, Lord, I'm going to lose money doing that. It's going to be hard over there. Doesn't have what I need over there. When you look back on that, is there anything in your life that the Lord has done that you look back and say, man, I should never have done this? If God leads us into it, when we get there, it's like there's a way provided, right? There's already a way provided. There's something there. God gives us the strength to get there. We've just got to move into that place. That's a hard place, but it's a better place, right? I'm dealing with that right now in my life. Just the Lord talking to me that, Chad, I want you to go over here, and you may have to give some things up, and you may have to, but this is the direction that I want you to go. And Lord, I see all these things, and that's a tough thing. So he's telling Moses that. Moses is like, yeah, it's about time that you're going to get these people out of here, right? And what does he say to Moses right here? And this is where, and I'm just going to go through this really, really quick because we already went through it, but it says, come now, therefore, you're in Exodus 3:10. And I'm going to hit this again, then we're going to move on. Come now, therefore, and I will send you to Pharaoh that you may bring my people out. Right. So what he's saying to Moses, he's like, hey, I got this good land over here. I got everything for your people. Your goal was to get them out to begin with, right? You wanted to take them out. You kind of got sidetracked or whatever, but I'm going to send you to go get them. And Moses was up to this point. Yeah, this is great, man. Go get them. You hear them. You know our sorrows. You don't forsake us. You don't leave us. You don't. And when he says, hey, Moses, you're the one I'm going to choose to go do that. What does Moses go? You can just see him like, whoa, man, listen, it's a good plan when it's your plan and when you're going to do the work. But when I have to step out and do the work, and when I have to be involved in that, and hold on, Lord, I don't want to do that. And what did we talk about last week? And I just want to, and I'm not going to go over it again, really, but in 1 Corinthians 12, what does God tell us about the body? What does he tell us about what we are as a body? We are the body of Christ, right? We are one body. We all have different jobs in the body, right? Are we using what God has told us? Are we doing the part that we have? And it says in there that everybody's not the hand, right? Everybody's not the feet. Everybody's not the ear. Everybody's not, but all those parts, does that make if, huh?
Every part is essential.
Every part is essential. I'm telling you, you can look at it over, and I'm not going to go read it again, but 1 Corinthians 12 through 26 tells us the ear is no better than the hand. The eye is no better than the foot. If you lose the foot, if you lose the hand, we all have our essential parts. And it says that God, and I want to look over, let's look over 1 Corinthians, and I'm just going to touch this quickly, just the bottom part of this, because I think, how do we get, and let me ask you, because do we get jealous in the body of Christ? That's a good question. Do we get jealous in the body of Christ? And what does that mean to get jealous? That, you know, Chad out there, man, he's teaching all these people and he's doing this and, you know, he's doing whatever. And, you know, I don't get that and I don't get to do that. And I have to go over here and I'm out welcoming people or I'm out doing this. Or listen, man, there is no, everybody has their part. And I'm telling you, and we are one body. We've got to understand that. And this says over here in 1 Corinthians 12, and I'm going to read down here at the bottom of it. And it says, I'm trying to see which verse, 23, and those members of the body, which you think to be less honorable, on those we bestow greater honor, right? And our unpresentable parts have greater modesty, but our presentable parts have no need. But God composed the body, having given greater honor to the part which lacks it, that there should be no schism in the body. What does that mean? No schism in the body. What? No division in the body, no fighting in the body, no, I'm better than you are, and you need to do this, or you, because how do we act in that? We get mad. I should have had that position. I should have done this. I should be the one that the preacher's talking. I should be the one that whatever, that there should be no schism in the body, right? And it says, but that the members should have the same care one for another. Now, this is talking about us in the body, right? We all have our different parts. We all have our different roles. I read last week about the lady that sent me that card when I needed that and said, hey, man, you know, you've been an encouragement to me. You've done, everybody has their part. It says that there's no schism. And it says, and if one, we should take care for one another. And if one member suffers, what all the members suffer. Do you understand that? It's like your family and you look at your marriage and you look at your, you know, what are we doing in our families? And this is just, what do we do in our families? Why are we having divorce rates that are so high? Because I'm looking at my wife and I'm saying, you know, you're only doing this amount and I'm doing this amount and I'm not, you know, and so I'm going to do less over here and you're going to do more. And you get that division, that schism, right? It says everything works together. And it says right here, it says that all the members suffer with it, right? For if one member suffers, we all suffer. We are all here for a purpose. What are we here for? To glorify me? To glorify you? No, to glorify God. We are here to lift up the body. We are here to go out in the community, because what does the community see in us? They see a divided church. They see a divided body. They see people fighting and they say, if that's the way you're going to be, I don't want to have anything to do with that, man. I can stay out here in the world. I can go out to the bar. I can go over here to the club. I can go over here and I can get the same thing you're getting there. What is the point of that? Right? Yeah. And it says that if we do that, it says, or if one member is honored, all the members rejoice with it. When one of us gets honored, right, then everybody rejoices with it. When one person gets saved, everybody has a part. Some people plant, some people water, some people harvest, some people, we all have a part. That is the body of Christ, right? That's what he's saying to Moses. He's saying, look, man, I want to use you. That's what he's saying to us. I want to use you. I want you to go out and I want you to do something for me. Use your part, whatever it is, man. Don't be a sponge. Don't suck it up and sit here and think that bless me if you can, right? Because that's what we do. Sit in the crowd, look at the preacher, sit there like you try to get a smile out of me, right? Right? Try to bless me, man. You're lucky I'm here. Right? You're lucky that I'm giving. You're lucky that I'm doing. Huh? Checklist. That's right. Check it off. Yeah, like a pond. That's right. We are a river. That's the best thing about, I love that, man. We are a river, flowing, moving, continually, not stagnant, doing what God has for us to do. Take up your part, take up your piece, whatever it is. Don't worry about if it's a piece that is out in the front and everybody sees it and I'm going to get the glory out of it. Don't worry about that. You do what God has called you to do, writing cards, praying for people, showing up and loving on people, whatever it is, right? So that's what we were last week, right? So now we get back over here and it says, okay, so Moses, of course, he's going, okay, God, this is great, man, but but don't use me, right? I know I have my part, but don't use me because I'm just not ready for that. I'm not whatever. So he's going to go through a list of excuses. And I want you to think if there's something in your life that the Lord is calling you to do, even now, right? Whatever that is, it doesn't matter. And you got to be part of the body, right? What does it mean to be part of the body? You got to be saved and part of the body, because it doesn't do you any good to, and we're going to look at a few scriptures here in a second, but it doesn't do you any good if I'm just out here and I'm pretending to be part of the body, right?
Yeah,
You're not doing anything for the Lord, right? We need to be part of the body, in tune with the body, right? But Moses is like, wait a minute, I don't know. And we're doing the same thing. I can tell you, we're doing the same thing, man. Bringing up excuses. Let me pray about it, right? Yeah, I'll pray about that, man. Right? How many times you heard that? That's a bunch of junk, man. Right? If you have somebody that asks you to do something, you say, I'll pray how I can do that. And I'll pray that the Lord gives me strength to do that. But I'm going to step out and I'm going to do that. I'm telling you, every week I get up here and I think, Lord, I can't do that. I don't think I can do it. And I tell Sharon, man, I don't know how this week's going to go. I don't know how we can do it. I don't know how we can get together, but God will give you the strength if you just take the first step. Same thing as salvation, right? You take the first step out, the Lord gives you his hand, says, I got you, man. And from that point on, you're his. I'm telling you, we just got to take the step. God has already preordained what we need to do. Okay. So here we go. Moses, we're going to look at a few of his excuses and see if, and I call them excuses. You know what, you call them whatever you want to call them, man. What do we call it when the Lord asks us to do something and we don't do it? What do you call it when you ask your kids to do something and they don't do it? Excuse. Quit giving me excuses, man. Get up and do what I asked you to do, right? But then when we say it to God, it's no, man, I'm spiritual, man, and I'm praying about it. No, you're giving excuses on what you want to do and what you don't want to do. Right? That's hard, but that's true, man. So here we go. We're down here and we're going to go in verse 13. And this is, and I need to put my glasses on. I will when I can't read it. Exodus 3:13. After this, after the Lord says, or no, we're going to go up here, 11. Okay. But Moses said to God, now, who's he speaking to? Speaking to the Lord. This is literally, where is God speaking to him from? The bush. Literally came out of a flaming bush over here and said, Lord, Moses, I want you to do this, right? Literally speaking to him. How does God speak to us? Speaks in our soul, right? Speaks in our spirit, speaks through other people. Hey, can you help me do this? Whatever. But this is literally God speaking to Moses. He's in the wilderness doing his thing. And it says, then Moses, and he said, verse 11, but Moses said to God, who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and that I should bring the children out of Israel? Of Israel out of Egypt. Who am I? Do we ask that question? Now, is that a good question to ask?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Why is it not a good question to ask? Or why is it a good question to ask? When I say, who am I? When God wants me to do something, or when the pastor,
You're already chosen.
you're chosen.
It's like the word I'm trying,
I think doubting yourself to be as.
doubting God.
Yeah. Like, why are you choosing me over you?
Right. There's a
Doubting God's ability.
doubting God's ability. That's right. Same type of thing. There's a good thing about that, right? I want to read over here 1 Corinthians 10, because if I stand up here, if any of us, if God asks us to do something, if the Lord asks us to do something, to whatever that is, and I sit there and I can do anything, right? Is that so? There's people in the church, there's people doing things that they're really not called to do. And they're doing it for the wrong reasons, right? There's a divide right there. We all have our part. We all do better at certain things and not things. But there's some people that everything that comes up, they're saying, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to do this. And then God's not getting glorified. And you're taking a spot that somebody else really is chosen for, because I think that I can do everything. Right. So let's look over here. I just want to read this. And this is really talking about temptation, but 1 Corinthians 10. Okay, this is really talking about temptation. 1 Corinthians 10, and we're going to go to verse 12. Therefore, now what's he talking about up above this? He's talking about, don't, don't worship idolatry. Don't do sexual immorality. Don't do all this stuff, right? And this, he's talking to people that are saying, I can do everything in myself, right? I can do this. I can take this. I can whatever. And it's saying, therefore, let him who thinks he stands, what? Let him who thinks he stands, what? Take heed lest he falls. What does that mean? If I came up here every week and said, you know what, man, I don't even need to study. I don't even need, because I can do this, man. I'm worthy to do this. I can do a lot of people in the, I do a lot of people in the church do that I can do this and I can do it. And they take God right out of the equation, right? And this is a warning to us. Take heed, those who think they can stand, lest you fall. Because what? Because it's not about me. And so that's one good thing that when Moses is saying, why me, Lord? I'm not able to do that. If you have a humble heart and you say, look, Lord, I don't think I can do it. And God says, what? We're going to see what he says in a second, but he says, look, you can't do it. Right. And that's the point. We've got to come up here with a humble heart and say, you know what, Lord, I'm not able to do that thing, but I know you are able to do that through me.
That's why I said earlier, take the focus off ourselves.
Take the focus.
Let God lead us instead of
Let
us
God
trying to
lead us.
ourselves.
That's exactly right. You're not as important as you think you are. That's right. And I'm telling you,
What he's doing with your life, you don't.
God knows what you're doing. That's right. With your life, and you don't. I don't know what I'm doing. Now I want to, and I'm going to read this. This really is not about the Moses here, but when you go further into that, take heed, those who think they can stand lest they fall, right? And it says what? No temptation has overtaken you, except that is common to man. Okay. But God is faithful, who will not allow you to be tempted beyond what you are able, but with the temptation also will make a way of escape that you may be able to bear it. He's talking about temptation in your life. And that's what he's talking about. Don't think that you can, and we need to take this just as a nugget of truth in our life. As I go out in life, man, all these temptations, all these things that are going on, don't get yourself in a position that says, look, I don't have to worry about falling to alcohol or drugs or pornography or anger or whatever. I don't have to do all that stuff because I can handle that, right? And he says, take heed lest you fall. Everybody is prone to temptation. We've got to understand that, because where are we at in the world? Where are we at in the world? How much does temptation hit us, and how much do I say, I'm good, man, and I don't need to worry about that, and I can do this on my own? And God's coming to us and saying, look, man, you need to get help with that, right? And I don't know who that's for. That may be for me, man. You need to get help with that. You need to go to somebody for that. You can't take temptation on your own. Oh yeah. And Satan will tell you, man, look, on that, on that thing, you're fine on that. You don't need God to help you with that. You're good on that thing. Right. And it says, look, you're going to fall. I'm telling you. And that's where, so that's just kind of taking heed. But what is God's response to him when he says the same response that he has for us? He says, look, when Moses says, who am I that I should go? Right. So he said, who said? God said, I will certainly be with you. And this will be a sign to you that I've sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you shall serve God on this mountain. He's saying, look, I'm going to go with you. No, you can't do it on your own. You can't take this thing on your own, but I'm going to go with you. And I'm going to tell you what, when you get done, and he's already telling them about the future, right? Once you all go over there and you deliver the children, you bring them back, you're going to serve me right here. Where's he at? Where's Moses at right here? Do we know? When he's speaking to God right here at the burning bush, where's he at?
He's up in the mountain.
Okay, he's up in the mountain. He's up in what?
Can't
Huh? The wilderness. What mountain's he on now? Sinai. What is Mount Sinai? Huh? That's the biggest. But what happens on Mount Sinai?
Mount Sinai is where God descends.
That's right. Mount Sinai is where he descends. Mount Sinai is where he gets the 10 Commandments. Mount Sinai is where he goes up and meets with God, right? He's saying, look, you're going to come out of this, what you don't think you can do. And I'm telling you what, you're going to serve me right here in this same spot as a different person, right? I'm going to speak to you again right here. I'm with you, right? We got to understand that God is with everything. We can't do it on our own, but he can do it through us. Look over here. We're going to look at a couple scriptures. Joshua, right? Joshua 1. And I don't know if she's coming in here to take pictures or not.
You're just trying to get us to look better for the last couple of weeks.
John, you need to look better over there. Joshua 1:5. Huh? Yeah, be ready. Yeah, that's right. This is what this is talking to Joshua, and I want you to think about this in your life. Joshua 1:5. Okay. This is when Moses has died. Who is the second in command on that thing? Who's taking Moses' place and leading the children? Because Moses what? Because of what he did at the rock, right? He can't lead them into the chosen land, right? We talked about that. So Joshua is the one that comes after Moses, and he's the one that's going to take the people into the land, right? And he's saying of himself, he's saying, look, man, I can't do this on my own, man. I can't bring the people in there. And it says in Joshua 1:5, no man shall be able to stand before you all the days of your life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will not leave you nor forsake you. Be strong and of good courage. Isn't that what God's saying to us, man? He's saying that nobody can stand before you. He's not going to forsake us. Be strong and of good courage, right? So how do I do that? How do we do that? And this is what the Lord hit me with. What is faith? I'm going to read it because how substantial is that in our life as a Christian?
Believing in God and having the faith to believe in God that He's
Believing,
going to provide the way,
and He's going to provide the way.
whichever it may be.
That's right. What is faith in a Christian life?
Everything.
Without faith,
Without faith, you have nothing, right? I'm telling you. Does it look like, and as you look at the world, and you look at things going on, as you look at your family, as you look at your finances, as you look at your kids, as we look at everything, does it look like we are winning? I say that, does it look like we are winning? We're getting shut down on every avenue. Are we? I mean, we are literally getting shut down on every avenue. And I want to read 2 Corinthians. I'm going to read a couple of these because this is for me. The Lord is telling me, I feel it. You got to have faith, and you stand up there and you teach and you say this and it sounds good, but where's your faith in that? It's easy when you have everything disposable right there with you, right? It's easy when I have the finances to do it. It's easy when my family is all living the way they should live. It's easy when my wife and I are getting along. Faith is not about when things are easy and I can do it on my own.
It's not leaning on your own understanding.
That's exactly right. And we're gonna let's look at a couple. 2 Corinthians 5. I'm going to read this, and then we're going to read one more verse, because faith to us is everything. Faith is not easy. 2 Corinthians 5:7. This says, for we walk by what? Faith, not by. Tell me what that means. We walk by faith, believing in things that are going to come, believing that God is real, believing that the Bible is the truth. Faith is believing in something that I cannot see, believing. And I was just saying as I came here, man, I'm gonna believe it until I see it. Just praying that this morning. You're blind. You're blinding away. Yes, Sharon.
by looking with the carnal eye, if you're looking at the circumstances, it doesn't look possible, but when you believe.
It doesn't look possible if I'm looking at the circumstances. If I'm looking at, it's trust. It's believing in something bigger than myself. Right? You know what how dumb, man. When I was out at a quick store, I was out at a lady's house, man, doing an evaluation. You probably heard this before. I don't really have time, but let's do it anyway. And she's in a wheelchair, man. And she tells me not to sit down in a chair. You ever heard that story, man? And she says, no, man, I'm good, man. She said, look, I'm telling you, don't sit in that chair. That thing, I've never met her before. I'm saying, I'm good, man. I'm okay, man. So I sit down in that chair. No more than I put one butt cheek on the seat. All four legs of that chair kick out. Boom. I hit the ground like a rock, man. Why? Because I had faith in that chair, that chair was going to hold me. She told me, don't sit in that chair, man, because I know more about that chair than you know. Right? as I'm rolling around on the ground, man. And I'm looking up at this lady in this electric wheelchair. She's looking down at me, shaking her head like, you're an idiot, man. I told you the chair wasn't going to hold you. You had more faith in that chair than you did in me, right? I'm rolling around. I'm getting wet as I'm rolling around on the ground, right? And I'm thinking, man, I must have hit a dog bowl or some, a cat bowl. So I look up and I say, man, I'm sorry. I knocked over your dog bowl, your cat bowl, something, because I'm soaked down here. Nope. She's got a bedside commode sitting beside her wheelchair. So she says, I dribble a little bit, right? That's maybe an appropriate story, may not. And so as I'm going from here to here, you're rolling around in urine down there. I said, are you what? And I'm hurt, man. I'm stripping clothes off in this lady's house, man. First time I ever met her, man. I'm in my underwear running out to the car like, are you kidding me? The story goes, man. The story goes that, listen, I had faith in the wrong thing. Walked by, right? That's the truth, man. I could tell you story, but that is what that is. I had faith in that chair, right? The lady looking down off that wheelchair told me the chair isn't going to hold you. I looked at what I could see. That chair looks good. I'm okay, man. I put a cheek in that chair, hit the floor because she knew what that chair was. Does God not know in our life? Does God not know what we need and what we can do and what we can? And I say, Lord, no, man, this job over here is what I need, or I need this over here, or I need this relationship. And the Lord saying, look, have faith in me, because I'm telling you, don't go by what you see, because what you see can deceive you. Isn't that a good illustration? Let's go over here. This is what Jeff was talking about.
I tell my children whenever growing up, I say, if you don't learn to listen, you'll learn to feel.
You learn to feel. That's right. And I'm telling you, and ever since then, man, I've thought about, what are you going to put your trust in? And you've got to put it in the Lord and what the Lord tells us, right? Proverbs 3. Let's read this, and then we'll move forward. Proverbs 3. This is what Jeff was just talking about. Proverbs 3, verse 5. You all over there? This says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, right? Trust in the Lord with all your heart. My heart is deceptive and wicked and evil beyond anything. I cannot trust in what my heart tells me. Okay? Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. My understanding was that chair would hold me. My understanding was wrong, because that's what I saw, right? When the Lord tells you, Chad, you need to get out of that job. Chad, you need to go over here and give this to this person. Chad, you need to pick this up. Lord, that doesn't make sense to me. That can't work out. And look, he's saying, look, your understanding doesn't matter. It's all about me, right? That's what it says. It says, lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him. In everything that I'm doing, acknowledge him. Lord, as I go through this thing, whatever it is, as Moses is going through this and he's saying, I'm going to go over and I'm going to get these children out of there and I'm going to bring them back. Acknowledge me in that. Lift me up in that. As I'm going and I don't understand what's happening, he's saying, look, Chad, pray to me, talk to me, get my word, look to me, acknowledge me in everything that you're doing. Don't lose focus of me, because if I take my focus off of the Lord and put it in my circumstance, what happens? I'm telling you, when I take it off of the Lord and I look at what I'm looking at, you can't do it. And you are lost, and you will fall, and the devil, that's exactly what he wants to do. God doesn't know what he's talking about. You need to look at what you see. No, I don't need to look. If I looked at what I saw, I'd see that the world is falling apart, right? And we have no hope. But I know in the back of the book right here in Revelation, the Lord says, look, I'm coming back and I'm going to get you, man. And I'm going to take you out of here. We are going to be victorious. That is what we are. It says, in all your ways, lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him. He shall direct your paths. Right? That's not me directing it. That's not me liking everything that goes on. That's not the easiest path. But that is God directing it. And when I get in a situation where I'm losing my faith and my hope and my vision, going back to the word and saying, Lord, I need you to show me, man, because I'm losing my faith, right? That's Moses right there. He's saying, I can't do it. God says, I'm going to be with you. You can do it, right?
You illustrated that even with me several times. Is to go by what you know and what you see, not what you feel.
No, it can't be about feelings.
I read yesterday that feelings last 35 minutes.
Feelings last 35 minutes.
Emotions last about 35 minutes.
Emotions. And that's it. That's right. I mean, I'm just telling you, and if I go with my emotions, man, I'd have everything in my house torn up, man. I wouldn't be married. If I went on my emotions, I'd be out, man. I'm telling you, I'd be out. You got to trust in God, man, and what he leads you to do and where you're going, man, because we all screw this thing up, man. Right? I mean, I continually get fired up and screw things up and whatever. So this is the next thing. So it says right here, after he tells him, look, you're going to serve me on this mountain. I have sent you. I'm not going to leave you. I'm with you. In verse 13, it says that Moses said to God, indeed, when I come to the children of Israel and say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you, and they say to me, what is his name? What shall I say to him? Right. So now he's saying, look, if I'm going to go over there and I'm going to do whatever. And who am I going to say you are? Because why is that because these are the Hebrew children, right? These are the children that should know about God. But what have they been into? What have they been into since they've been in Egypt for so many years? What stuff have they been into? Huh? Idolatry. What is Egypt about? Polytheism, right? All these different gods and all these different things and all these different beliefs, and they kind of fall into that pattern, right? What are we into? Right? We're into polytheism, right? You believe in, man, you worship your car, worship my house, I worship my wife, I worship my job, I worship my body, I worship everything, right? Huh? My grass, right? This is somebody new in the class already busting me, man. That isn't fair. You worship the things, right? I mean, that's what we do, right? So he's going, look, these guys, they're believing in all this other stuff. Who do I tell them? Same thing when we go to the world, right? And the Lord says, I want you to tell somebody about me. And I say, Lord, what do I say to them? Who do I tell them you are, man? They don't know you. They don't believe you. They don't, and he's saying to Moses, I don't want to go and not know what to say. Let me tell you, first off, when the Lord tells me to go and say something to somebody and to tell them about him, what's he going to do in that? He's going to give you the words to speak. I'm telling you, it's happened to me. I'm like, Lord, what am I going to say to this person over here on the side of the road or my next door neighbor? And you get there and the Lord brings up scriptures and he brings up examples and he brings up, he tells them, right? But what does God say to Moses right here? Because Moses says, when I come to him, I don't know what your name is. And God said to Moses, I am who I am. I am who I am. What does that mean? I wrote out a thing. This is God speaking. I am who I am. What does that mean? What does that mean? I'm the great I am. Okay.
I'm the one who never changes.
I'm the one who never changes. Always the same. I'm all you need. I'm everything. I wrote down right here and it says, I am eternal. I am unique. I am uncreated. You understand that? I am who I am. Did anybody create God? Did it take anything? He was here before time. I am uncreated, unequal, right? Uncomprehensible, right? You're all in all. I'm all you'll ever need, right? What did he say and as I thought about that, that's what he's saying. You got to go to these people and you got to say, look, the God of your fathers, the one that's everlasting, the one who is beyond comprehension, the one who has never been created, right? He is the one that is sending me to you, right? What about the God in the Older Testament before that, God spoke to many people, and I wrote here to Adam, he was the creator, right? That's what he was to Adam because he created everything, right? To Hagar, the God who sees me, right? There's all kinds of Abraham, the everlasting God, the gracious provider, Jacob, the God of Israel, right? And he's saying to these guys, look, I'm the everlasting God. I'm the uncreated God. I'm the unequal God. I'm the one that is beyond recognition, that you don't even understand who I am, right?
Like John 1, the word of God is the word from the lips. might
Yes.
mess that up, but it comes out and just tells you, you know, what God is saying.
God is the
and
word.
the word
That's right.
is the-
Now, as we look forward, this is what I want to, what is God to us? So that was the God of the Old Testament, right? That's who he was, man. How did God come to us? To save, he came to us in the form of what? Jesus. So what is Jesus to us? Because this is more as you're talking to your people and we're talking to people about who God is to us. And when we go to him and tell him who he is in our life, and I wrote down a few things and I'm going to read a few things. You can write these down because this is good to study about. I'm telling you, what is he? He says, I'm the good shepherd. I'm the vine. I'm the door. I'm the bread of life. I'm the resurrection. I'm the light of the world. I'm the way, the truth, and the life. Right now, so as you go, I'm the good shepherd. That's in John 10:11. I'm the vine in John 15. I'm the door in John 10:9. The bread of life in John 6:35. The resurrection, John 11:25. The light of the world in John 8:12. I'm telling you, man. Now, so I want to read, I'm just going to read a couple of these. What time is it? Yep, we're doing good. John 10, what is the good shepherd in our life? What does that mean? What is a shepherd? What's a shepherd? A leader, sure. Keeps people in check. That's right. What was Moses? Moses was a shepherd, right? Let's look over here. I'm the good shepherd, John 10. Okay. And I'm going to read this. And I want you to think about Jesus in this, and Jesus in our life, and who he is in our life, because that's what matters, right? And I'm going to tell you, it doesn't matter when you go to the world or you go to the person that God tells you to go to speak to. I want you to tell him about who I am, right? And I say, Lord, I don't know how to tell him about who you are. And he says, look, I'm the good shepherd, right? We tell him about what he's done in my life. You can't deny. I got people on here that have known me all my life, right? That know how I've changed. They know what God's done in my life. They cannot dispute who you are now. They cannot dispute a new creation. They can tell you, I don't believe in God. And you say, well, look at me, man. I'm going to tell you what God's done in my life, the way he's changed my life, the way he's changed my course, the things he's done to me. And you can see a change in me. And that's my God that's done that. That's not me, right? I'm telling you, that is the best witness and the best example you can give to lost people, to lost family members, to lost community members. Look at the change in my life. They thought that, my family thought for years, man, they're like, this is a phase, man. You're giving money to the church, man. What are you doing? Handling snakes over there, man. Dude, what is this going on, man? And then they see the change in your life and they say, you know what, man, there's something different about him. Something new.
That 1 John, because I didn't want to mess it up, this says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And I didn't.
Yep,
But
good.
that starts out from Genesis.
Oh,
in
yeah.
the beginning.
He is what he
And
is,
then at
man.
the end, the Alpha and Omega, and the
That's right. So let's read this right here. And I want you to think about this in your life, the good shepherd, Jesus, the good shepherd. Okay. And this is John 10, and this is verse 11. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd gives his life for the sheep. But a hireling, he who is not the shepherd, one who does not own the sheep, sees a wolf coming and leaves the sheep and flees. The wolf catches the sheep and scatters them. He's talking about, that's the devil in your life telling you that, look, I'm the good shepherd. I don't leave my sheep. I stay with my sheep and I take care of them. The hireling, the one that's come in to pretend who I am, you get trouble going on, and I'll tell you what, man, he's running and fleeing, right? And I'm telling you, in your world, in our life, when I'm living my life, who is it that's always with me? Who is it that does not leave me? I'm telling you, that's God, man, because as soon as I get out there in the world, as soon as I screw something up, as soon as something goes down, you look around for the people that are hanging out with you at the bar. You look around at the people that are hanging out with you at the drug house over here or whatever. They're gone, man. You don't have any money. I'm gone, man. Right? That is not what we should be. It doesn't matter what you do, who you are as a Christian, as a family, as the family of God, we are for one another. right? Listen, does that mean that I have to agree with what you do and accept what you do? No, but that means I'm not going to leave you. He says, I'm the good shepherd. He says, the hireling flees because he is a hireling and does not care about the sheep. I'm the good shepherd and I know my sheep and I know my own, right? And it says, as the Father knows me, even so I know the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. Can you get over that, man? I lay down my life for the sheep. Now look here, and other sheep I have, which are not of this field, them also I must bring, and they will hear my voice, and there will be one flock and one shepherd. It says, therefore my Father loves me because I lay down my life that I may take it again. No one takes it from me, but I lay it down of myself. I have power to lay it down and I have power to take it up again. That's what he's saying. Nobody, how much does Jesus, the good shepherd, love us? He laid his life down for us. Did he lay his life down for us because he had to and he was forced to? And the Father said, look, you're going to go down, you're going to save them, and he said, no, Jesus said, look, I see a people, I see a need, I have a love, I'm going to go do this on my own. When he was on that cross being beaten and being crucified and being spit on and being cursed and being whatever, he could have had, it says, legions of angels come down and take him off that cross and say, you know what, man, these people aren't worth that. But what did he say? He said, no, man, I love them that much. I'm going to go through it for them. That's the good shepherd, right? Don't trust in anything else. And when people ask you, who is God? He is my good shepherd. He's the one that laid down his life for me. He's the one that loves me till the end. He's the one that was raised up and is in heaven right now, waiting to come get his people, right? Saved, salvation. I can't get over it. Okay, now, and I want to read one more. I'm the bread of life. I could do a whole 6 months on this. You know the way I am, man. The bread of life, John 6. Let's read this. And then we're gonna move forward. We're getting about there. John 6, and I want you to think about this, 6:35, okay? The bread, and this is just talking about the name of the Lord, right? Who he is to us. As he talks to Moses, you go get him and you tell him, I am that I am. I am who I say I am. So let's look at John 6:35. And this says right here, it says, and Jesus said to them, I am the bread of life. He who comes to me shall never what? Shall never hunger. Right? It says, and he will believe in me, and he who believes in me shall never thirst. Do we understand that? When you talk about the Lord being the bread of life, all the things, all the money I can make, does that fulfill me? Or do I hunger for more? All the sex that I can have, does that fulfill me or do I hunger for more? All the drugs I can do, does that fulfill me or do I hunger for more? The only thing that can fulfill you and sustain you forever is the Lord, right? That's it. The word, what he's done in my life, Holy Spirit in my life, saying, Chad, I'm the only way. And I've talked to people that are lost and I've got a hole in my chest, man. There's something there that just, I've done all this stuff. I've done the world. I've done the drugs. I've done the money. And it just doesn't fill me, man. And I'm longing and longing and longing and looking, moving from one place to another place to another place to another. Lord says, the only thing that's going to fill that hole in your heart is me. I'm the only thing that can fill it. He is the bread of life. You talk about the light of the world, right? He is the light, and we are the what? We are the reflection of that. Right? Let your light shine. Don't put it under a bushel, right? Just like the sun, let the Lord shine and let him shine on me that I can shine out and shine on somebody else. Right? And then one more thing. And I'm telling you, those are great. But we're looking at Hebrews 13. Hebrews 13, and this is what we're going to end this part on Hebrews 13, verse 8. Hebrews 13, verse 8. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Get that, man. He does not change. The God of the Old Testament is the God of the New Testament. The God that saved you out of that sin and out of that muck and out of that pucker brush that you were in before is the same God that saves you today. He's the same God that walks by your side today. The same yesterday, today, and forever.
And that goes
Unchanging.
with, when you're saved, and you ask for forgiveness, you're, forgiven for your past, present, and future.
He died once on the cross, right? Once for our sins. We don't have to keep crucifying, keep killing, and keep doing whatever. He died one time. As a saved person, you have salvation, right? We don't have to keep going back, right? We've talked about is the blood and the sacrifice and going back to the Holy of Holies and sprinkling that blood every year. And this year I'm gonna get over it, and then next year it doesn't help, and you're gonna have to sprinkle it again and sprinkle. No, the Lord has sprinkled his blood on our heart one time, and that's it. Does that mean I'm not gonna fail and walk away and screw up and do all kinds of things? No, man, but that means God is still faithful. Oh, we need to take a picture. Hold on. So let me just finish this right here. We got to take a picture. I'm sorry. So this says, and we're going to end on this, and then we didn't get too far. We got far enough though. Therefore, it says, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Do not be carried about. Okay. This is what I want you to read, understand, with various and strange doctrines. Okay. Do not be carried about by various and strange doctrines. What does that mean? If God is the same yesterday, today, and forever, all the time you have people telling you what? A new way. There's a new course. There's a new edition. There's a new God. There's a new thing. And their version of whatever. And there, you don't really have to go by what this says. Don't be carried about. God is the same today, tells us the same thing. It's all the same going forward. It'll always be the same. Don't be carried about by everybody that tells you there's a new way and a new thing, and you get on a pyramid scheme with Christianity, right? And I can do it a better way. I can get that quicker. I can do whatever, right? Anyway, we'll pick back up on the next excuse that Moses gave next week, right? So we almost got through 2. Pretty good. We gotta pray, and we gotta take a picture. Thank you, everybody, for